We all know who Nick A30 is. Nick A30 has been massive in the Fortnite community for the last 7 years. He started off as a Last of Us YouTuber, but then quickly switched to Fortnite when Fortnite started becoming really popular. He was always known for being energetic and always happy, while also being family friendly, which made him appeal to a younger audience. Nick A30 also has a lot of memes surrounding him, such as the
Nick, what's the game called? It's called Fortnite. It's free.
and
You think you're the king? I'm the king!
and many other memes as well. However, recently fans of Nick A30 have noticed that something is a bit off with him. His behavior while streaming is kind of naturally strange to begin with because he's just playing a character on stream, but recently his fans have noticed him acting stranger and stranger. Just the other day, Nick A30 did something incredibly strange on stream, and many people think that might be the beginning of the end of his career. A small YouTuber named Arch went into Nick's stream and donated a few dollars and asked Nick to give him a challenge for a video. Nick agreed and asked Arch which challenge he would like to do, so Arch donated even more money just for Nick to completely ignore the message. It went back and forth for a bit, with Arch sending more and more money just for Nick to become agitated for no reason at all. Nick was basically saying that no small content creators are entitled to have Nick do what they want just because they donated. This is very strange considering that other pros and content creators have asked Nick the same question, to which he actually did what the person wanted. However, in this situation, Nick decided to be incredibly weird about it. You might be thinking, so what? What's the issue with the streamer not doing something that a viewer wanted? Well, here's the issue. Due to Nick being family friendly and a little bit cringe at times, the vast majority of his viewers are little kids who probably don't have much money. In fact, this applies to all streamers. Donations should be taken very seriously because someone is deciding to give their hard-earned money to you, and all donations should be incredibly appreciated. In the case of Nick A30, most of his donators are little kids giving away what little money they have because they want to be noticed by their favorite streamer. So for Nick A30 to ignore the donations and be incredibly rude to someone who could very well be like a 9-year-old kid, that really sucks. Now for me, I stream every single day on Twitch, link is in the description, but even I, as a small streamer, am super appreciative of any donations or subs that I get while streaming, and so are so many other streamers. However, Nick A30 seems to get annoyed by them. Aside from just getting money, Nick was also very rude to Arch, the guy who donated. So not only is Nick A30 not happy about getting a donation, but he will also actively berate the person and make them feel bad for even giving money in the first place. This is not the type of character who should be popular and widely loved, especially since he can't seem to be happy with being a beloved content creator. Unluckily for Nick, the guy who donated is a smaller content creator with over 10,000 subs at the time of me making this video. Arch decided to make a video letting people know what Nick A30 did, and the video received lots of positive engagement, with most viewers actually agreeing with his video and taking a side against Nick A30. This caused Nick A30 to become even more mad and entitled and start claiming that Arch was just a clout chaser who was only using Nick for views. Arch's original plan was to get Nick A30 giving him a challenge, then he would do it. That video would have likely pulled between 3,000 and 4,000 or so views based on the other videos on his channel at the time. Instead, though, Nick decided to be a dickhead about it, which led Arch to make an expose video, which has now pulled over 200,000 views. Nick then discussed the situation on stream, where he was even more defensive and hateful than before. Instead of just saying, "Hey, sorry man, I had a bad day, I apologize about that," Nick decided to double down when he started receiving backlash from the community. Nick then started slandering Arch even more, calling him a clout chaser and saying that he was only using Nick's name for views and money, and claiming that Arch made tens of thousands of dollars by slandering Nick. Now, as a YouTuber myself, I can tell you that a video with 200,000 views will maybe get close to $1,000, but nowhere near the amount that Nick was claiming. Nick knows this too, but he figured he could lie about it since most of his fans just don't understand how YouTube works. In fact, his entire point was a major lie, because Arch isn't even monetized on YouTube to begin with, meaning that Arch had no financial motivation to make the video at all. Nick brought the entire situation upon himself and is now just blatantly lying to provide a justification for his horrible actions. Even if Arch did get money from the video, it still wouldn't matter because all of his points against Nick were completely valid. Now, I don't want any of this to come across as hateful towards Nick A30. I really don't think he's a bad guy, but his behavior here just cannot go unnoticed. Nick just taught a masterclass on how not to act as a famous content creator. I hope for Nick's sake that this is not the downfall of his entire career, but I hope that he can see this as a mistake and come out and maybe even offer an apology to Arch or anyone else that's been possibly affected by this. But doubling down on a mistake is just not the right course of action, and I hope Nick sees that and decides to be the bigger man and admit his own wrongdoing.